The next stop of our in-state tour takes us to Gretna, where the Dragons will have one of the top returning offensive units in all of Class B. Hi, Sean Callahan with HuskerOnline, as the Dragons now back down in Class B. And for head coach Joe Dalton, he really likes what his team did last year, especially on offense, as they've got a lot to build on moving forward.
Yeah, I think the transition was the biggest thing there. Kind of smaller roster size from what we're used to. And then we only had 11 seniors out for football this last year, just with the school split. So really that was the biggest class affected by the school split. But Class B football, it's a little different than A in terms of style, but some dang good coaches in Class B and a lot of really, really good players in Class B. So that was fun. And then, we made the playoffs and traveled out to Scotts Bluff, and they kind of took it to us a little bit. So we're hoping to rebuild a little bit this next year. I think the year before we returned 3 starters, and this year we returned 18 or 19. So really looking forward to that.
And for Dalton and the Dragons, it all starts at the quarterback position, where they have one of the state's leading passers returning, and quarterback Michael Knutson, who threw for 3,166 yards and 34 touchdowns a year ago.
So Mike, early in the season, people were kind of asking me, hey, are you surprised by Mike's success? And really I wasn't at all. He's a really elite competitor, a tough kid, and has always had the skill. Now he's kind of finally growing into his body a little bit, becoming more athletic and a really good thrower of the ball. So he's kind of the heartbeat of our team a little bit that way. So not totally shocked there, but really excited for him going forward, just with kind of how our offense is kind of molded around him a little bit. Kind of reminds us of when we had Zane, able to kind of sling it around a little bit. So really excited for him going forward.
And with a year like that and the history of quarterbacks like Zane Flores at Gretna, there's no doubt that Knutson has gotten a lot of early attention.
So he does not have any offers right now. It kind of feels like teams are trying to see where he's at in terms of level or fit. So attention-wise, he's recently gotten some attention from Eastern Michigan, Wyoming, North Dakota State, North Dakota, South Dakota State, Washington State a little bit, just with the coaching change up there. So some schools like that everyone's trying to figure out kind of what level he's at in terms of Group of 5, FCS, things like that.
And he'll be throwing the football to one of the top returning receivers in the state, as wide receiver Bryce Lakers had nearly 1,300 yards receiving a year ago.
Yeah, so I definitely wasn't expecting the year I had. We had 3 big linemen up front, provided a lot of protection for the quarterback, who's also really good, Mike Knutson, and just able to execute on key plays and score a bunch of touchdowns this year, and it led to some success.
Yeah, Bryce. Bryce was a JV only kid really as a sophomore. He played in some games as a sophomore, but not a ton, kind of spot minutes. And Bryce really did a great job of putting in the work, and he was never a kid that complained about those JV times as a sophomore. Just kind of waited his turn, kind of did it the right way, kind of an old school approach. But Bryce is a good complement to the rest of our receiving corps, because he's got that top end speed to take the top off the defense, and he's also really good at contested catches over the middle. You can kind of see on his film a little bit. But on top of Bryce, I think Mike does a great job of distributing the ball to a lot of other kids, to where I think we had the leading sophomore in the state in receiving yards. We had another kid that's a junior, Drew Bolts, over 600 yards receiving this year, 10 touchdowns, something like that. So it's kind of nice to see Mike be able to pepper the ball around a little bit and everybody get some touches and be successful.
And Lakers is fast and explosive with good size, and there's no doubt he's poised for another 1,000-plus yard season here in 2025.
Yeah, just the numbers I was putting up was, especially in the first 2 games of the year, I think it was around 400. I think I broke a state record in the Norris game. I had 312 yards, I think. So, yeah, it was a great game. It was fun.
Reporting here with the Gretna Dragons at the in-state tour, I'm Sean Callahan for HuskerOnline.com.